was an emotional one.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. If you're watching, you can see behind us the floods, the flash floods that took place in Ras Al Khaimah. And unfortunately, the car that you're seeing getting absolutely demolished by that rushing water is mine, the white Pajero. This is the last time I saw her in full capacity before she was taken away. She has been ripped to shreds. I'm not going to tell, this is not just flushing water, by the way, guys. This is pure rocks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit emotional watching it, to be honest. Should I tell you what happened?
Yeah. Yes, please do so. We have been waiting for this, the entire story.
I've kind of run, you know what's so interesting is that when all of these things happen, at the time, it's extremely calm and this is what's happening. But actually looking back on it, it was quite a stressful and scary situation because an hour before you're seeing this video, that entire area had probably a very small light stream that we were able to walk across with my mum and a baby.
Oh.
So it just goes to show you how quickly this type of things can happen. And to all of the people, by the way, who commented and said that, you know, this was fake news, I'm telling you now, this happened. It was a very serious situation and we feel very lucky to have come out of it okay. So many people across the country, it was a National Day weekend, so many people went hiking, camping. We drove our cars up to Wadi Shauka, very popular spot. And before we left for a hike, it was really busy. You know, people setting up camps, people having drinks, people doing their barbecues. And our hike was literally, we just went up to the nearest mountain, up to near where those famous steps are at Wadi Shauka, but we were on the other side of the mountain. Very popular spot. And it started to rain a little bit, and there was a little area for shelter. So we decided to take that shelter. Because we were with my mum and it was a little bit slippy and we didn't want to go back down the slippy mountains. Anyway, give or take 30, 40 minutes, we head back down and all of a sudden we just see the cars still on the flat where we had left them, but submerged in water. And you're thinking, oh, I'll just run over and get it, right?
Yeah.
I'll just like cross over the water. But we saw a group and a tour guide and they were freaking out saying, you can't cross over the water. Like this is like flushing, the rocks are coming through. You have no idea how serious this is. But as she said that, and as we got closer to the bank, the cars just started to move. Now these are, you know, this is a Nissan Pajero and a Jeep, like 1.5 ton vehicles gliding past you as we just saw it. And we waved goodbye to our cars. And we saw a lot of people kind of moving their cars. A lot of cars got away safely, but I do believe a couple of others were caught. Maybe the other people had gone for hikes as well. But honestly, this wasn't the most traumatic bit. Because everyone says, were you safe, were you okay? We weren't in the cars, we were absolutely fine. The traumatic part was the fact that we were essentially landlocked on this piece of mountain.
Oh, wow.
And to get home, either we were going to ask people for shelter. A lot of people were helping us, so people were saying, you know, do you need a lift anywhere? But there was no lift back to land. Everyone right there, because of the way the water had gone, we were on the mountain. So with my mum, my friend's dad, and my friend's baby, so there's 5 of us in total, we took a 3-kilometer hike on the side of the mountain, which looking back was such a stupid idea, but we thought it would be okay. But you're essentially like on the side of the mountain, and like this is well-walked hikes during the day, but there's a lot of uppy downy bits, and when you're with, you know, people who are 70 plus, it can be quite a scary situation. You're able to look after yourself, but can you look after the person beside you? So we were kind of like, it took us easily an hour and a half to get back to civilization, where there was a lot of people having picnics, enjoying themselves because it was National Day weekend. And then it took another 2 to 3 hours to get a lift home. And thank you so much. There was a Palestinian family who my mum started chatting to. First of all, they gave us food, they gave us drinks, they gave us popcorn. The daughters were so sweet. And then all of a sudden they were ready to leave. And within 3 cars, they were able to fit our party of 5 between them. So a massive thank you to them, because otherwise we had no way home. And they put us in, and they brought us back to Al Zahia and Sharjah, and then we got taxis home. So our 3 p.m. hike turned into an 8-hour but everyone was fine. It's just cars. Mine wasn't covered on insurance, but at the end of the day, we're all fine. And my phone was in the glove box, and it's actually working, so.
It's here. It's a miracle. It's a miracle phone that survived.
The phone was in the glove box, and we thought the whole car was ruined. We went back to check the damages the next day. We went back to Ras Al Khaimah police station, who were, by the way, super helpful. And in the glove box of the car was this Miracle.
Miracle phone.
Miracle phone covered in silt and scree. It's working now. I need to get it cleaned properly, but like, can you believe it?
Wow. It works, fully functional. Everything works.
Everything's working. Well, I mean, I haven't put anything into the charger because you can literally see all the sand and stuff in it. But
wow. Well, that's good. We have a saying in Arabic, في الحديد ولا فيش. It means in the metal. Well, I'm very bad at translating. It's in the metal and not in you, basically.
What does that mean?
So basically, whatever bad happens is better to hit, like it happens to a steel or to anything else other than you, you know. So
100%.
Yeah.
Because we were looking at it, and it's like cars, but at the end of the day, it's just cars, and it's just phones, and it's just my mum's wallet, and she was traveling and had Emirates ID. So in terms of admin, it's a pain. But at the end of the day, everyone there beside you, just standing there looking, is so much better than anything worse. So yeah, we felt really, really lucky to get off that mountain.
I'm very glad that you're back with us, Casey. Very happy that, you know, there is a beautiful side to that story where people helped, and the police in Ras Al Khaimah were also helpful.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I would also be scared at that point. It's very scary.
People were so helpful along the way, like the people on the mountain. We met some gorgeous families who were like, anything that we can do. And then the family that drove us home. You know what wasn't helpful? When this video went on Lovin the next day and people questioned whether it was accurate.
I saw the comments, yes.
And they have since deleted those comments because I simply put, you know, like, this was my car, it happened.
Yeah.
But I think what people didn't see the rain, and when you don't see the rain, it's hard to imagine that. And even if it was just 30 minutes of rain, but that just goes to show you how well you need to know these areas. And we were actually with someone who knew the area very well, knew the hikes, knew the lay of the land, but still proceed with caution when you're going into the mountains, because it is the wilderness. And this just goes to show you how fragile we are versus nature and how quickly things can shift. And we look back at that day thinking if we were 20 minutes earlier or 20 minutes later, it would have all been so different in many ways. But these things happen, you live and you learn. Proceed with caution when going to the wadis. That is my lesson to you. Speaking of Mother Nature and how fragile she is, we're going to jump into our top stories about COP28. The UAE banks have committed 1 trillion dirham to sustainable causes. So it was a weekend of celebrations as Dubai celebrated its national holiday weekend, and a weekend of big wins at COP28 as the event encouraged billions in investments across all sustainable sectors and agendas. So here are just some of the headlines that we're reading this morning, because we want to take you through a quick recap of what you might have missed. First of all, the UAE financial sector announced a 1 trillion dirham commitment to accelerate sustainable finance, support sustainable and drive climate action. Secondly, the UAE signs a deal with Bill Gates, his nuclear company, on advanced reactors.
TikTok launches $1 million initiative to fight climate disinformation and misinformation. The new climate fund, Altera, is a 30 billion Catholic climate investment fund. Hillary Clinton, former United States Secretary of State, joined Gender Equality Day at COP28.
We also heard rumors that Leonardo DiCaprio's in town.
Wow. Mr. Wolf of Wall Street is here.
You know what's so funny is that we went through all of those headlines, and then it's the Leonardo DiCaprio.
That you go, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's rumors. We're going to keep an eye out on that one. But the biggest headline was a 1 trillion commitment from the UAE's financial sector. So global leaders from international financial institutions united at the Global Action to Foster Sustainable Finance panel, where they discussed solutions to unlock the trillions needed for this energy transition. And I think that's the key point here is we know there are renewable energy sources, but how do we get there? And the answer is to unlock finances. So the UAE financial sector has jumped in. They have announced a 1 trillion commitment to accelerate sustainable finance, support sustainability and drive climate action. And that's what you need. We need commitments. We need money on the table to make these changes happen.
Yeah, a lot has happened at COP, you know? Like I even saw King of Bahrain. You know, he was there. He made a huge entrance, and there was a nice moment between him and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, where he joked around like, "This is the King of Bahrain," you know, and he introduced them. It was a good thing to see. But yeah, a lot of things are happening at COP.
You're
know?
so right about all of the leaders landing. They were actually some of my favorite videos from Friday because King Charles the UK, we also had the King of Jordan, Narendra Modi, and how they embraced, like they were all pals, and you kind of just for 1 second, you forget that they are all powerful leaders and that they will probably, make the decisions that, see how our children are brought up. However, at that point, when you see them just like hugging, you're like, oh, they're just old mates.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the reality of their impact is super important, and what they are encouraging over the next few weeks should make or break climate action for the next couple of years. So let's hope that they've got their climate hats on, they're thinking sustainably, and we look towards a greener future.
100%.
We want to just highlight one other story from COP, which was the peaceful protests that took place. So protests are illegal in the UAE. However, the UAE has allowed for peaceful assembly and expression of views at the climate summit with the condition of obtaining prior approval. So what you see here had been approved in advance.
In this case, the group stood peacefully with one arm raised and a banner that said ceasefire. One was listing Palestinian children's names and their ages who had been killed in the Gaza Strip. It's a wonderful news that we see this being allowed, and especially at COP, one of the biggest events in the world when it comes to climate and doing good for the environment, and sort of it has an underlying theme, which is peace. Being peaceful to humanity and the environment, So we're not only saving the environment, we're also saving humanity with the environment.
Yeah, so true.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting how we discuss protests here and peaceful assembly. And I think that actually, because this protest was for Gaza and the atrocities happening there, but I think we have seen, although there haven't been peaceful assemblies in the UAE, people do their own stances.
Yes.
And how people have committed their time, money, and towards donation drives, and the amount of people turning up at donation drives. I feel like we're not protesting the government, because in a case we know that the government is making the right steps and doing what they need to do. Most recently calling for a private assembly at the UN to make sure that the ceasefire is renewed. But from a personal level, people putting their money into donations is just as powerful, and if not more impactful than a peaceful assembly. However, it is great, as you said, to see it, and that there is an underlying thread of peaceful coexistence, which you're seeing across both. We're jumping into our next story. The story went viral on Friday, and we're so glad that there has been a happy ending. Yes,
a huge update occurred over the weekend. A lady has been saved after a dangerous situation on a Barsha Heights balcony. So the lady was spotted around 1 p.m. on Friday, December 1st, sitting dangerously on the ledge of a building in Barsha Heights. The reason behind this incident has not been revealed yet.
What we saw was authorities jumping into action. They quickly prepared a safety sheet at the bottom in case any dangerous moves were made. They also maintained a conversation to help the lady return to safety and follow on.
Yeah, and she afterwards, while distracting her, they rescued her off the ledge by the local authorities rescued her off the ledge. If you or anyone you know is suffering from any mental health issues or is having a hard time, please seek help immediately and find the rightful authority to do so.
We're so happy that that lady has been brought to safety, and we hope that she gets the help she needs. Yes. We're jumping into our next story. So, of course, this was my UAE national holiday weekend. However, there was a lot of celebrations, not just in the UAE, but across the world.
Yes, and one of those places is, well, I'll get to it now. UAE culture hit the streets of Canada. So not only did we see celebrations across the UAE, but, it happened in Canada. UAE citizens, they celebrated on the streets of Canada in a very special way. As you can see.
So you can see, it went viral over the weekend on our feed if you want to check it out. Some Emirati citizens, they're in Canada celebrating the 52nd National Day of the UAE. And you know what I love about this is that For Irish National Day, St. Patrick's Day, you see it celebrated around the world because it's Irish people feeling proud in the city that they're in and wanting to get out and do all things Irish. So it was really cool to see the same thing happening for the UAE in Canada, but there are celebrations everywhere, right?
Everywhere. You know, it's everywhere. It's happening everywhere. Even in Bahrain, I saw a lot. You know, I was in Bahrain over the weekend, and I saw a lot of Emiratis I saw Ajman plates, I saw Dubai plates, I saw Abu Dhabi plates. I'm like, okay, they've even come to Bahrain to celebrate, you know? So yeah, like even there in Canada, they took people that, like unknown people.
Bringing them onto the streets.
Like they brought them in to celebrate together, you know, show them the part of the culture.
Pride is so beautiful, and I know that across the country we had the flyovers, we had kind of the big events, but on my 2 journeys to Iraq this weekend, up and down, you know what I did see, which was the local, maybe not even local, but just people celebrating the National Day holiday weekend. So driving on, you know, the road up to Iraq, there was, for example, cars parked, and there was, you know, you could just see kids dressed in national holiday gear, waving flags, taking photos with their family. So many picnics, like next level picnics, by the way, but so many like big families getting together just out in the countryside celebrating the national holiday weekend, and a lot of UAE flags. So it wasn't just, okay, we have 3 days off. It's also happy birthday UAE, we love this country, we're proud to be here, waving the flags and just really enjoying National Day holiday weekend for what it is.
Yes, I even enjoyed it myself. I see, like, you sort of see the celebration with the content as well that you see on a daily basis on the weekend. On social media, you saw everyone how they celebrated, and let me tell you, there was this celebration in what's that area called? The Walk? No, downtown area.
City Walk?
City Walk, yes, City Walk. They were having this extravagant celebrations over there. You know, a lot of things happened, and even the video of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid resurfaced, the one with the phone where he has 2 numbers, 2 phones, sorry, and one is public and one is private. You know.
Public phone, yeah.
Yeah, the public phone, like people have it, you know, Emiratis have it.
The public hotline to call the ruler when they have issues, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
But that's so true. So there was the big celebrations, like the parades on the streets and the flyovers, and then also there was kind of the probably odd, you know, we've seen the cars rolling up and down Jumeirah, like all the cars having the you know, the likenesses of the rulers, and then there was just people getting out enjoying the wilderness and getting out into the countryside and nature, which is what I did, and look what happened.
Let's stay positive.
If anyone has any help on how I can get a new car without paying any money, I'm all ears. It's 8:51 on a Tuesday morning. Guys, it's a 4-day week. That means only 3 more mornings before your weekend. What a treat.
Exactly.
And it is December, which is events time across the country. It is busy period. So we hope you all have a busy day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.